Welcome, everybody, to another live edition here from Inside Out. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you guys so much for joining another broadcast right here in our studios. We have a very special guest for our show tonight that's got some very I should say juicy details, if you will, with her husband's case and all of that. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tammy to the show. Welcome, Tammy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Jay?
Oh, another day in paradise. I'm still here, another day fighting, as you know. But I understand. Yeah, I understand that you have a very interesting and I guess you can say full of corruption type story that you want to tell. So go ahead and tell your story. The floor is yours, and welcome to the show, Tammy.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate everything you do for all of us. So I would like to say, first and foremost, this has become so much bigger than just my husband at this point in time. There are so many incarcerated individuals, both male and female, throughout our country. Our country has more prisons than any other country in the world. I mean, and just the gravity of hearing those words makes me absolutely sick. Not only on top of that, when you add the statistics of if you commit a crime in the United States of America, especially in the state that I am in, Texas, you're looking at anywhere from 95% to 98% of all cases. Fact check me, please. All cases in the United States plead out. That means, yes, folks, that means that the court appointed or public defender, depending on where you're at, what county, what state, is working directly with the DA to keep you from going to trial. So, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just going to put it out there straight up, it's modern day slavery, folks. There's money to be made off of the families, off of the inmates. Free labor, go look it up. Alabama is being sued right now for a whopping $450 million for enslavement and non-paroling of individuals that are incarcerated because they believe in not letting them go because they're making too much money off their backs. So just keep that in mind as I'm going through this. Now, my husband's case in particular, tonight I'd like to talk about one very big thing that happened. He was being hit from a nasty divorce on both sides of the fence. Women, not all women, several women are using their children as weapons against the husbands to get what they want, manipulate, or get the husband completely out of the picture. And so in Texas, you can be convicted just on hearsay. Just hearsay alone. You don't have to have any physical evidence, no DNA, no pictures, no anything. Just the words out of a mouth. Anybody can say you did something. The judge in my husband's case was on the civil side, brought him up and had a bond hearing where he revoked a bond, a surety bond to a cash bond, had the hearing 3 days after he was released. We live 8 hours from the court, never notified us to come to court, never notified the bail bond, never notified the court officer that my husband had to report to as part of his bond. Didn't tell his attorney, anybody, that he needed to be in court and made a ruling that my husband was to be revoked from that bond and put to a cash bond. Then after they did that, they put out a warrant for his arrest. And then when he came in for his criminal case, they arrested him, detained him. He was found to be able to get an indigent attorney for that case, for the contempt case. And then he turned around and the attorney took a month and a half to see him when they're supposed to speak with the client within 24 hours in Texas. So that really happened. Then when the criminal trial came into being, his court-appointed attorney hired an investigator 1 week before the trial. The lead investigating detective on the criminal case. There has been an Internal Affairs Division complaint by an advocate issued that hired a private investigator, that we paid $7,500 for this advocate. He found out that I have a phone recording between me and the advocate that I played for my husband's attorney. Found out that he had found the lead investigator was having an inappropriate relationship with the mother of the alleged victim. And nobody's done anything about that. I have the recording. Anybody that ever wants to hit me up and would like to hear it can definitely put it out there and let anybody hear it that wants to, or we might do it live one night here on Jay's channel. Sorry, I'm saying so much. There's so much to this case, I can't even tell y'all.
No, I get it, and I appreciate all of your. I appreciate all your information, and we're not professionals up here, so don't worry about it. But Tammy, we have Nicole and Jill. Are these people that want to come up on the show?
Yes, Nicole's my stepsister. Jill is she's family. I don't know if she wants me to tell who she is, but Jill, do you want me to introduce who you are in this?
Nicole, Jill, can you guys hear us okay? I see you guys are trying to get into the green room here. I understand you guys are having settings and sound and whatnot issues. Check your settings and make sure you guys have everything working now, okay?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Who's that, Nikki?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nikki's
hey.
my sister.
Hey.
Welcome to the show, Nikki. And Jill, can you hear me?
Jill, type in the chat box whatever issue you're having.
Let me see if I can.
He can walk you through it.
I'm going to take. Hold on a second here. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me.
No problem. So I'm going to read off something real quick to everybody. So anyway, the judge that was on the civil case turned around and got on the criminal case. He got moved over to the criminal case, and my husband and I put in a motion to get a new attorney because his attorney wasn't doing anything, and he denied my husband that right. He denied him a right for new effective counsel. This court-appointed attorney had almost 6 years to prepare for this trial. And he denied him that right. Then at pre-trial, my husband was left in a cell in the basement of Denton County, Texas courthouse. Left him in the cell, and the jailers came down and told him, "You are no longer needed." And they took him back to the jail. He was not even there for his pre-trial. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to court and sit in a jail cell basement under their control and not have a right to defend yourself or be seen or heard.
That's so unconstitutional.
It's unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to read off rules of due process, and there's a really big reason for me doing this.
Okay, let me see if I have that real quick so I can put it up on the.
You can if you want to put it up. Yeah, put us over.
All right, what I have is steps to file a motion, judge recursal, abuse of power, corruption documents.
Rules.
That's all I have.
Okay, well, I'll read the rules. I'll read the rules of due process, and then we can put up the abuse of power because I'm got a reason for that one. But I will send anything and anybody can reach out to me. I'll let Jay my email.
Okay.
Due process refers to the fair treatment of individuals under the law, particularly in legal proceedings. While specific rules may vary by jurisdiction, so you do have to check out your states. Remember, we do have a constitution that overrules everything else. Keep that in mind, folks, because once they leave county, their state property. So then that rule applies to the federal government. Mm-hmm. So while that jurisdiction, here are some general principles and rules of the process. Number 1, notice. Individuals must be given adequate notice of any legal action or proceedings that may affect their rights or interests. Folks, interests, very important. Not just your rights, but your interests. This includes notification of charges, hearings, and court dates. Hearings, his hearing. They held a bond hearing without him present. Number 2, opportunity to be heard. Individuals have the right to be heard and to be present and present evidence and arguments in their defense before a neutral decision maker. Neutral decision maker. This may include the right to cross-examine witnesses, challenge evidence presented against them. 6 years my husband's been going through this court proceeding, and it's never, not one time, seen his evidence against him. No statements, police reports, anything. Okay, number 3, impartial decision maker. Legal proceedings must be conducted before a neutral and unbiased decision maker, such as a judge or jury. Any conflicts of interest or bias on the part of a decision maker should be disclosed and addressed. Mm-hmm. I don't think a judge that just sentenced you to time in the county jail and revoked a bond without you being present should be allowed to preside over your criminal proceeding.
Absolutely.
Presumption of innocence. In criminal cases, individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This presumption places the burden of proof on the prosecution and requires that guilt be established based on credible evidence. Hearsay is not credible. That is not credible. It shouldn't even be a law. Number 6, right to appeal. Individuals have the right to appeal a decision made against them to a higher. This allows for review of errors or injustices that may have occurred during the initial proceedings. But once they get you to sign a plea deal, what they're trying to do now with the plea deals is make you sign, when you sign that you can't appeal. But that is a lie. You can still appeal.
Right. And that's, again, that's what I feel. That's what it feels like happened to me too in my case. So carry on.
Yes, definitely. Consistency and uniformity. Legal rules and procedures should be applied consistently and uniformly to all individuals without discrimination or arbitrary treatment. Now, I'm just going to say this. My husband is black. He's African American. Whatever label people want to use, I will tell you this. If you are poor, you're screwed. If they take away your money to defend yourself and you get stuck with a court-appointed, I don't have nice words to say, attorney, you might as well hang it up. You have to defend yourself. And I want to say something on that in a minute. but I'll leave it alone for a sec. Timeless legal proceedings should be conducted in a timely manner without undue delays that could prejudice the rights of the parties involved. 6 years, folks. 6 years. You know what happens in 6 years? Records disappear. Your defense for yourself dwindles, and they build a bigger case against you and stack more charges. The quicker
Wow.
you go to court, the better you're going to be. Do not delay, delay anything ever. So,
That's right.
you know, let me just say this. I did skip one, and I'm sorry, guys. Right to counsel was number 4, and this is very important. Individuals
Here you
have
go.
the right to legal representation, and if they cannot afford an attorney, one may be appointed for them.
Absolutely.
This ensures that individuals have and this is the key word, guys, assistance they need to navigate the legal process effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Assistance to navigate. Let me explain something about this. And I heard another advocate say this. He's a dad's right advocate, and I don't know if I can cuss. He's damn on point. Let me explain something to everyone. We are raised to walk in a courtroom and be fearful. We are raised and told that we have to be respectful to a judge, and we have to do this and we have to do that, and we have all these rules. Let me explain one thing, and I kept trying to explain it to my husband. He couldn't wrap his head around it. That court-appointed public defender, I call them public pretenders. That's what I call them. And if any lawyer wants to come in here and challenge me and tell me something different, feel free. But
they don't do nothing.
They don't do jack nothing for you. They work with the DA. And let me say this. Mm-hmm. You are their client. They are there to assist your defense. You help create your defense. You are your defense. This is your life. What happens to your family, what happens to your loved ones, what happens to you in prison, not them. So you don't let them dictate to you what they're going to do or how they're going to do it or how you should take a plea. They coerced my husband into a plea. They ganged up on him in a cell, did not take him up to the courtroom, did not have witnesses around, and they bold-faced lied to him. Wow. They told him he had 10 days to pull the plea back. They had him sign it. They took it up to the judge. Then they brought him upstairs and sentenced him. And once he signed it and was sentenced, he didn't have 10 days. They lie.
Unreal.
They lie every day. It's a game.
Right. Absolutely it is.
You have to be better at it. I am going to get a website up with some other friends and family members, and we are going to have a donate button on there. I need help. I'm asking for help. A few dollars here and there, but what I'm going to start doing, this form that I talked about tonight and the other ones on here, I have an abuse of power letter ask for an official inquiry. I have a petition. I will be getting that circulated soon. I will have access to power of attorneys, how to file motions, how to deal with corruption, how to start gathering evidence, and how to start protecting yourself from the minute the word go that they slap a pair of handcuffs on you.
Absolutely.
And
one of the misconceptions too that a lot of people don't know when it comes to your rights and whatnot is the simple fact that you do not and should not be talking to the police or any detectives, because they will use what you're saying against you in court of law. Tammy?
Well, I'm gonna say my husband, when he got arrested in 2017, was the first time. He got arrested in 2017 in Fort Worth, Texas. It was taken to the grand jury, and they no-billed it, and he was released, and they said, bye, go away. Then they turned around. The detective looked at my husband and he told him, "We're going to take it over here. I'm going to have your ex-wife take it to Denton because they know how to handle ends like you."
Right.
Okay? Then
Mhm.
she told him again she was going to handle that Denton County knows how to handle black folks like him.
Sounds so
We're talking about
racist.
a
I
man that
swear to
saves
God, it's
lives for a living.
well. Why do people have to bring the race card in situations like this? I don't get it.
I don't either, but that Denton County, Texas. If you go on YouTube, this channel that we're on, and you put in Denton County, Texas corruption, you will see where the KKK burned down a black school back in the day. You will see judge corruption. You will see the sheriff is corrupt. You will see multiple strings of things against blacks in Denton County. It is 74% white. Never had a shot in hell. The judge himself is a member of the Women's Republican Party, the Safari
Wow.
Gun Club, the NRA. Is gun toting, hunting, fishing. All of his campaign slogans. The wife, after the sentencing, put on Facebook that she was thanking her legal team and tagged only the judge, not the DA, not any witnesses, not anybody else, just the judge. Judge Brent Hill,
Wow.
Denton County, Texas, tagged him in the post, thanking him.
Wow.
It says volumes.
The more I
I
hear
mean,
stories like this, the more I love the system. Not, I was being sarcastic.
yes.
Gosh.
But Jay and I have kind of come to a consensus. I have these letters and these different informational packets that will be of use. Is Cynthia in here, Jay? Because I can't see the
Cynthia.
chat.
No, Cynthia's not in here. She said she's going to try to be in here, but I don't think she is. Unless she is, and she hasn't said
Are
anything
any
yet.
of
But
our regulars in here that I can't see anybody, but listen, you guys that know me, I want to help everybody. Tell me what kind of legal form you need. I will get it. I will get the template out on the site once I get it built this weekend. We're going to get this information out. I need people on board, people that want to help. We have to make these changes, and the only way to do that is change the laws. We have to
absolutely,
start fighting back. And
yes,
people's lives get ruined. This man was a
yes,
professional for over almost 30 years in his
yes,
profession and saving lives. Saving
yeah,
lives that he can't save right now because he's in jail.
right,
And Jay knows it's very, very hard. Things follow you. People come after you. All my friends that are advocates that have been through this, or people that have loved ones that are in our chat. We have to stand up for these people. They have no voice in there. They
yeah,
are trying to pull some crap in Florida where Jay's very familiar. They're trying to put wrist monitors and ankle monitors on, and the ankle
yeah,
monitor pick up the illegal contraband cell phones. And the reason they're doing that is because if you go on Facebook, TikTok, or others, Twitter or Instagram, you're starting to see prisoners share conditions of their life inside prison. And they're showing the truth about getting beaten, getting raped, getting hurt, being sick, no medical treatment, the food, not getting fed. During the lockdown in Texas, several people died, including some of the COs. And the COs that are decent, the correctional officers that are decent, they're getting killed in there by their
right,
own guards because they are
right,
interfering with the gang activity of making money selling K2 or whatever, methamphetamine,
Mhm.
All these different things that they do in there. They're enterprises. They're secondary enterprises.
Right.
And we had our one friend that was a correctional officer in Georgia. He told us he made $12 an hour when he started.
Wow.
They're in there guarding people at $12 an hour. I think in Texas it's 19. Still, I mean,
Okay.
it's unbelievable, folks. I just want to educate people, and I want to help people, and all
Right.
I'm asking is to spread the word, make awareness.
Yeah, that's all we can do right now. But the main key thing too, that wasn't brought up earlier is the simple fact that we need to stop the bickering, the fighting, and doing the hate stuff against other advocates, because that's got to
That's
stop.
right.
One thing I can't stand is an advocate or claiming to be an advocate, and they're doing this crap. Hold on a second, guys. I got why is it okay? Sorry about that. But one thing I can't stand, guys, is an advocate attacking another advocate. That shit's got to stop. Go ahead,
It
Tammy.
has to. We have to be one voice, one united front. And that's kind of what's wrong with our country today. They want us divided. They want us divided by economic class, social class, race, religion, any way that we can be divided, because when you're divided, you're weaker. If you stand together in a united front for one goal, listen, there is no rehabilitation in prison. They're not doing that. They can say, oh, they have classes, they have this, they have that. Go to Marcy's site, Marcy. She's on TikTok. Just type in Marcy. She'll come up. She'll tell you that she had to take the same class over and over again because they didn't have anything else. Wow. It's all a bunch of BS.
Right. And you know what's sad is that they keep saying that it's not in the budget, or we're short staffed, we can't do these classes. Keep in mind, guys, I've said this numerous times on this show right here live, that's just a lame ass excuse. So here's the money that comes in annually every year within our system. It's over $400 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you heard that correctly. Over $400 billion coming in our system, and there's not enough funds for classes. I don't buy it.
It's unreal.
So,
it's unreal.
Yeah.
Listen, and find out who owns the commissary company in Texas for the county jail, Tiger Line, and we trace the money trail. I guarantee you, I wonder how many senators and representatives have stock in those companies. That's where you find out where the votes go. Trace the money. In every case, in every county, in every governmental issue, you follow two things: sex or money. Take your pick.
Absolutely.
That's where you'll find every single time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sorry, we have come so far to be so far back. That's one thing Nikki and I had a big discussion about. She's like, it makes her sad to see that here we are in 2024 and there's still racism.
Yeah. Yeah, and they still play the race card. I mean, when are we going to grow up and stop playing that card? It gets old.
It's a race card. It's a gender card. You know what? I'm a female, and I'm a grown-up. And if my husband cheated on me, which he had a long time ago when we were together at a different point, he's cheated on a couple of, almost all his exes. But you know what I did? I walked away and I moved on. This is the problem. These scorned ass women that use their children as weapons. It's disgusting. And the things that they do. There is a picture in my husband's case. There's several. Let me just say it. There's a picture of her with a child under the age of 3, completely uncovered.
Yeah, see?
Uncovered. And if a man did that with a child and they were uncovered and the child was uncovered, guess where they would be? They would be under the jail quicker than they could even blink. But because a
absolutely.
woman, I'm sorry about the background, but because a woman is accusing a black man of something, she can get away with that type of shit. And she sent it to him after he was indicted. Not the first time, but the second time he was indicted. The first one they threw out. She did it again. Then she took other pictures, and the kids are in the background while she's taking nude photo selfies of herself and sending them to people. And I cannot get CPS in Denton, Texas, to look at these photos and do something and confiscate her phone and her computers and see if she's trafficking kids or pictures or something. That is not normal motherly behavior. I would never do that. I'm a mother of girls, and I would never do it of girls or boys. It doesn't matter. I just wouldn't be doing that behavior. Nikki, you can say stuff if you want. I'll be quiet for a minute.
Yeah, Nikki, can you still hear? You still in, Nikki?
I don't know.
Maybe I lost her. I don't know if she's still in here or not.
She may not be. Trying to see if
I took her out for right now until she lets me know. But she says she was in the chat. I think she is listening.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about, for the people that just tuned in late, we're talking about due process rights, our locked up loved ones' rights, all of that. And we have our friend Tammy in here who is dealing with those kind of situations with her locked up loved ones. So that's what we're talking about. That's the topic for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chat up in here so everybody can see it. It will load here in just a minute. That way Tammy can see it. So bear with me on that. So what we got going on here, guys, is major violations within our courts, our system as a whole, jails, prison, all of that. And again, we're dealing with the deal. The deal. And they tell you all these factors. Hey, take this deal and you'll get this, or take this deal and this will happen. So that's what we're dealing with right now. And so many people take deals under the fact that they have no idea. Go ahead, Tammy.
Under duress every time. Duress. You're under duress. You're scared to death.
Yes.
And this is a tactic that they use. They will stack charges so high so that you have all this time, and it looks like it'll be like 500-600 years. And then they'll turn around and they'll say, well, you know what his attorney told him? He said, you're looking at 50 years to win this case. What the hell do you can't win this case when you sat there and told that damn judge, 2-3 months ago that you didn't want to be off from being his attorney because you could represent him? And the judge said you earned your gray hair 40 years. Judge Brent Hill told Bruce Isaacs, his attorney, that he earned his gray hairs, but he's scared to face a prosecutor and defend my husband and call the witnesses, some whom are actually in this room with us tonight, that never got subpoenaed, never got listed as witnesses.
Imagine that.
Never got told. And the investigator himself told me he concluded that Ricky, yes, was a womanizer. Yes, he did things as far as cheating on women, and he drank, but everybody had the same consensus that he didn't do the things he was being accused of. And he concurred and agreed.
Right.
And he, by the attorney, his services were no longer needed because they had struck a plea deal.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow. That's imagine that segment. Right.
Yeah,
so Tammy, So Tammy, real quick, what other document did you want me to pull up here now? Because I know we just did
Let's do this one. I'm going to read it. I think we need to do the corruption doc.
Okay.
Did you get that one?
All right.
And the corruption one?
Yep, I'm doing it right now. I think this is it right here. I'm going to go ahead and fix my settings so everybody can see this. There we go.
So
Take it away.
finding corruption in court case can be challenging and typically requires thorough investigation and evidence gathering. Here are some steps you can take if you suspect corruption. One, document everything. I cannot stress
There
this
you go.
enough.
You
Time
heard it
you
from
talked
her.
to somebody, where you went, the time, the date, the name. I have FBI case file. I have CPS case file, the names of who I talked to, where I went, what time, a DPS CID guy that called the Texas Rangers who never contacted me back. I have the dates and times, when, where, how, who, what, everything. Do not forget, and keep the detailed records. Details. The devil's in the details, folks. Remember that. Court
There you go.
documents, rulings, communications related to the case. If you are in Texas specifically, I don't know about your state, definitely look it up. Make sure you can record a phone call. You can record court proceedings. They can tell you can't, but you can. It is your right if you are party to the conversation. You have a right to record it, and you do not have to tell the other party as long as you are part of the conversation.
Correct.
Remember that. Research. Look for any unusual patterns, discrepancies on the case, such as sudden changes in rulings, unexpected delays. Like I told you, delays are only meant for one reason, to build a case. And bias treatment. All of those apply in my husband's case, all of them. Seek legal advice. If you can, go to legal aid. I know they're not always the best help, but try. Look for people. Look for those things, guys. Reach out. I'll help you as much as I can. Might not get to you quickly, but I will get to you. I promise. You want to go to a trusted attorney who can advise you on the best course of action and help you navigate the legal process. Private attorneys are there to get you out. Public pretenders will not do that. I'm sorry. They're few and far between.
Yeah, that's sad. We in a sense pay for that, and they can't even do their job.
Exactly. And then you want to file complaints. I have filed complaints with the DOJ, both divisions. I've filed complaints with the FBI. I have filed complaints with the Judicial Committee. I have filed with there's another one, Judicial Committee, State Bar. I've filed them all, and this is what it comes down to. You want to make sure that you're documenting and filing these complaints and grievances, because if you don't, and you want to come back and cry later after the case is over, your loved one gets cornered and takes a plea like mine did, then you want to have this to go back on and fall back on, because it builds a case for your one of three things. You have three options: an appeal, a writ of habeas corpus,
there you go,
and then a governor pardon. Those are your three options.
Yep.
So remember that, guys. You want to build for an appeal, a writ of habeas corpus, or a governor pardon. So you want to be building that. Mary may be putting things in the chat. I don't know, or Nikki or Jill.
Can you see the chat at all now? Because I put it up on the screen so everybody.
I'm blind as a bat. I'm old, Jay. I'm old.
Age is just a number. Don't worry about it.
My eyes don't say that, but
my friend Chad, I'll read one off for you, Tammy. My friend Chad, not Chad, Shad. That's it's SHAD. Anyways, remember, he goes, remember the legality and admissibility of recording another party without their knowledge varies by state.
Yes, exactly. That's what I said. Make sure you check your state. You have to. But you can always get around as long as you tell them. And there's a way to tell them without saying it so bluntly. You can say it really quickly, and you just say, all my calls or all my conversations are monitored.
Right.
you know, and
And here's
report it.
and your friend. I think this is your friend Mary Lou said. Also,
Yes,
we
she's
are
an
not.
advocate.
Okay, cool. Mary Lou, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. She said this: "We are not giving up, Tammy." That's what she said.
Yeah, she is like a godsend. She's the one that I told you has everything I have. I send it to her.
Cool.
Buddy up, people. Let me tell you, buddy up. You want to buddy up because when you're working and doing something like this, you want to have somebody that has all the information you have. Because when you start making the right people angry,
Mm-hmm.
and you start getting at the truth, it's very, very murky waters. You want to always,
Yeah.
if you're trying to get a loved one out and something happens to you, you can't help them. So it's always good to have a backup. CC them. If you want to send email to somebody and you're filing a complaint, make sure you put